You wake up one day and you find yourself, you got a mortgage and a house in escrow.
Oh, yes.
But before you do that, you got to
exciting.
talk to our next guest, Kathy Helbig.
Yes, you do.
KathyHelbigGroup.com. Good morning, Kathy.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Why is it that you real estate people want us to be pre-approved?
Right. So a lot of people get a little bit annoyed that one of the first questions that's asked is, are you pre-approved to buy a home? So a lot of times people feel like that's kind of getting up in their business.
Yeah.
And so they push back at that. But the reality of it is we're actually looking out for your best interest, number one. Also, we need to qualify you to make sure we're showing you the right homes. And a lot of times what you think you can afford and what you can afford and what you want to afford can be three different things. So it's really good to have your first step to sit down and be talking with a professional mortgage banker.
Right.
And figure out exactly the price point you need to be in. Secondly, there's a misconception about pre-approvals. A lot of companies out there call really what's more a pre-qualification a pre-approval. And that's a big one right now. So when you're in this crazy market where there's all kinds of offers coming in on a house, who you're aligned with is part of the strategy of making these offers. So when I have a listing and I have 6, 7, 10 offers come in on it, I'm going to look at who is this person working with financially, because that's a big piece. And there's a lot of people in town that we know have constant delays. They don't close on time. The big banks, those type of issues we have because we can't reach a person. You can't talk to people nights and weekends. Quicken Loans, things like that, that's online applications. A lot of that we know is really more of a pre-qualification and not necessarily a pre-approval. So that might tip us in the direction of which one to go with.
So when you're talking to the seller and you say, well, this one's buttoned up and they got the finance guy and the girl and the this and that, that's great. This one,
could be risky, could be a loan commitment delay, could be a closing delay.
Explain the difference between the pre-approval and the letter, or vice versa.
So a lot of times what people think is a pre-approval, what generally happens is, unfortunately, if agents aren't asking up front, are you pre-approved before we put you in a car? We put you in a car, and then you find a house that day. And then you go, I want to write a contract. I need to get pre-approved. Well, the way you do that is a lot of times it's online applications. You call whoever's working with you. They pull up their computer. They type up a little letter. They send you over something that's based on the information that you provided to them unverified.
Got it.
So that's really a pre-qualification type of approval. So a real pre-approval goes through some of the underwriting process. So there has to be verification of income, because that's a big one sometimes that comes back where somebody will say, oh yeah, I make X amount per year.
Right.
So then we start evaluating everything based on what you say you make per year, and then it comes back that, well, the 50% of that was claimed in cash.
Right.
So now you don't make that per year on paper. That changes everything.
Right.
You know, so we have to know those things, and that doesn't come out in the wash necessarily that Friday night at 8 o'clock when you're writing a contract.
Right, right.
So it's really important to go through the steps first, if you can at all do that, and then be ready to pounce with a true underwritten pre-approval that there's no skeletons that are going to fall out of your closet. There's no surprises. There's no bump on what you're going to end up paying on the mortgage, because all of that was figured out ahead of time.
And your point, I think, to go back to end where you started is, you're doing the buyer a favor.
A favor.
What good is it to find the house of your dreams and lose it because you didn't have all your ducks in a row?
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And knowing all the money that you need to have available to make that happen.
Ladies and gentlemen, that's why she is Kathy Helbig. That's why she is the best. 314-276-SOLD, 314-276-SOLD, or KathyHelbigGroup.com. Market still booming?
Oh, yeah.
Do you
Get your house on the market. We probably have 10 buyers for it right here. Yes, it's crazy.
You have 10 pre-approved buyers all ready to go.
100.
100.
Yeah.
There we go. All right,
We do.
good. 741, Big 550, KTR.